All right. So today I want to review how to do a rotation of a shape with a protractor. Okay. So this is a protractor. We're gonna look at question 3 here. Hopefully you can see it in the camera. This is showing with the materials that I have. It says in figure 3, rotate triangle ABC 90 degrees counterclockwise using center C. So there's a few things we need to pay attention to here. Center C. Center C, we're gonna circle it. All right, because the center of a rotation is the middle of the circle. So it's like the middle of the circle, or the middle of the rotation. All right, you can think of a rotation as making a circle, right? And the center is as making a circle. I'm sorry, move it over. And the center of rotation is right in the middle of that circle. All right. Excuse me. Once we have circled center C to annotate that, we're going to take a look at the other important information. The next piece of important information is counterclockwise. It's telling me which way the rotation is going. Clockwise goes in the way that a clock moves, right? You can think of it as to the right, but turning to the right. Counterclockwise goes the opposite way, so turning to the left. Okay. And the other important information here is 90 degrees. They're telling me that the rotation is going to make a 90-degree angle. So I put this little notation here because we know that that means 90 degrees. Okay. So now that I have my important information from the question, I can start to do some work here. Well, I know that center C needs to be the middle of the circle, so I can take my protractor. Center O needs to be the middle of the circle, so I need to take my protractor. A protractor has this little hole right here, and that's where we want to put the point that they're calling the center. All right. So I'm going to take my protractor and put it right here on center O. Okay. Now, I noticed that my shape that I'm moving, because we're talking about figure 3, I noticed that my shape is under the protractor. So I'm going to do an easy fix and just flip it upside down. That way my shape is inside here, right? It'll be easier to tell the degrees that way. Okay. So I'm going to use a couple of other tools. Patty paper, which we have in the classroom, your protractor, a pencil, make sure you have that. You might even want another piece of patty paper as a straight edge, or a cardstock as a straight edge, or a ruler. All right. So we know that center O is the middle of the circle, is the middle of the rotation. All right. So I made sure that I line my protractor up so that the hole is over that O. I had it over the C, but center O is the middle. Center O is the middle of that rotation. Okay. It's a little closer to me. All right. So now that center O is in the middle, in the circle, right? And I'm making sure that my protractor is nice and straight. Okay. They told me that each point needs to move 90 degrees. Well, let's see a point that I can see easily that's not covered up by the protractor. I can see B, point B. All right. Let's look at point B's measurement. Okay. So where does point B hit on this protractor? Well, let me take a piece of patty paper and make a straight edge so I can see. I'm just going to fold my patty paper in half I know it's in half because the sides meet. All right. And now I have a straight edge. Okay. So I'm going to, from center O, put my straight edge at center O. So right here. And come to B. And it's a straight line. Well, where is B hidden? B is hidden. This is 50. It goes 51, 52. So B is hitting at 51, 52. All right. Now on Zern, you've been this line right here. That's where B is. Okay. So I have my measurement. It's at about 52. On Zern, you've been able to move. Wait a minute here. Yeah, on Zern, you've been able to move your little protractor in 5-degree increments. Well, we're going to move in 10 because 10s are a little bit easier, okay? So if it's at 52, right? Then when I move to here, that's to 62, that's 10, okay? When I move to 72, that's 20, all right? 82, that's 30, 92, that's 40, 102, 50, 112, 60, 122, 70, 132, 80, 142, 90. All right. So I'm understanding that my point needs to be on the 142 line here. Okay. So I'm going to draw that line from 142, right? From 142, which is here. From 142, I'm going to make a straight line to O, which was the center of the circle or the center of rotation. So I understand that 90 degrees, a 90-degree turn, about O, a 90-degree turn from here will place me somewhere on this line. Somewhere on this line. That would be a 90-degree turn. Okay? Well, how do I know exactly where it goes on that line? Well, here's where patty paper comes in handy. So you can take your patty paper, you can trace your shape. I've already traced it to save time on this video, but you would go ahead, trace your shape, A, B, C, right? And then I'm gonna put my pencil on O because O is the center of rotation. That means this is moving, but the pencil, like, it is going around the O because O is the center. It's the middle of the circle. Nothing else should move. I moved the paper by mistake. But the only thing that should move is this patty paper rotating around O, which is the center. Okay? All right, so let me put it back where it started. It started here. And I know that it needs to go to this line that I just drew because this line here was a 90-degree rotation. All right? So B started here, and now bringing it and making sure that it lines up with this line. Where's B now? B is here, okay? So I'm gonna lift my patty paper, and that's my B. So I'm gonna label that B prime, okay? All right. So I use this line to help me figure out where 90 degrees goes, and I did that. Okay, I'm good. Now, all right, I don't need that line anymore, so it's not confusing me. My B prime is here. Well, the rest of my points moved with the shape because since it is a rigid transformation, the size of the shape doesn't change. Nothing else changes about the shape. The length of the sides doesn't change. Nothing changes about the shape except for where it is. Okay, so everything else stays where it is. So this is C prime, this is A prime, stays the size that it is. Okay, and I can either use the protractor straight edge or my patty paper straight edge to connect these dots. Okay, so this is triangle ABC, and this is the image, right, of the figure. We call the new picture, we call that the image. All right, so this is my image. It's the new one. It's the picture of the original figure. Okay, and this is it performed as a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise going this way over O.